Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to teach you guys the 3 things about delegation that I learned from interviewing over 100 multi-billion and multi-million dollar entrepreneurs, as well as spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on mentorship and trial and error myself. So whether you're a beginning level entrepreneur, intermediate, or advanced, and you're looking to grow your business and brainstorming how to delegate, how to hire, how to get support, you'll enjoy this video. All right, so let's get right into it. So these 3 tips have helped me tremendously, and they're things that I recommend you keep in mind, whether you've hired someone or you haven't. All right, so number 1 is that it always pays to delegate. You see, even early on in your business, you might be thinking, well, I'm not making that much money. And maybe you're asking, well, when's the right time to get help or support? I haven't even made my first sale. Maybe you're still at your job or in your savings or at the early level of your business where you kind of feel scared to spend any money and maybe you're not used to it. Of course, as you become an established entrepreneur, you'll get used to paying people. But sometimes when you're just starting, you struggle with should I delegate this, right? Even at advanced levels, right? Multi-million dollar entrepreneurs that I've coached sometimes have agonized for long periods of time, suffering to do stuff themselves because they're not willing to spend $50,000 or $100,000 or 6 figures to hire a right key person for the first time, right? That could be nerve-wracking, that could be scary, but this number 1 point is so important. It always pays to delegate, okay? Now, this leads me to point number 2, and it'll tie in with some value here on point 1. But number 2 is the quality of your business is directly related to the quality of your team. And if you're the only person on your team, then your high highs and your low lows are gonna be the same thing that your business experiences, right? Remember the phrase, people don't have business problems, they have personal problems that reflect in the business. And see, the challenge is that if you're a solopreneur, you can do it, and I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but what I am saying is that very often in the beginning levels of your business or as you're growing, you'll start to get overwhelmed sooner or later with certain tasks that maybe kill your energy or kill your time or frustrate you or sometimes can make you grow to hate your business because they're not in your core strength areas, right? And so 2 parts to this. Number 1, it is so important to get the right quality team members, but this leads to point number 2, is that you have to decide what are your core functions. Because when you can decide what are your core functions, what are the things you do that drive the opportunity, drive the business, drive the opportunity the furthest, so then you can delegate the rest. One thing I like to say is outsource your insecurities or delegate your anxieties, right? The more you can get stuff off your plate, the more you can get help. Maybe this starts with a virtual assistant that you pay, $5 to $7 to $10 an hour for to help you with tasks. Maybe that costs a couple $100 a month, whether it's part-time or full-time, right? I have a recruiting service that we actually help people with this because we had this challenge. I also have realized that when I first started, I didn't know where to go. So before I even got a VA, to be honest, my first hire was friends. I would pay them minimum wage to help me. And I'd say, hey, can you come over for 5-6 hours and help me plan this or help me organize this or help me brainstorm these things, right? The more you can get support, the more you'll realize that who, not how, is a core foundation to success. Even on small tasks, even sometimes on things you think are not that big of a deal, if you've been repeating it for 3, 4, 5 days or weeks or months and it's the same task and you're getting stuck on, you gotta ask yourself, is this worth my time? Maybe it's a car wash, maybe it's cleaning your place, maybe it's meal preps, maybe it's actually elements inside of the business. But whether your personal life or your business, the more you can delegate things outside of your core strengths, obviously in line with your budget, but challenge yourself a little bit on that budget, well, the more you're gonna free up bandwidth so that you can focus on the business and not so much in the business, okay? So that point number 2 is so important because point number 1 was it always pays to outsource and delegate. Even when you're starting, it'll free up bandwidth. Even if you're not making any money, you're getting the ball rolling by delegating. Now, if you are making money, this is also true because new people can give you new ideas, new insight. On days where you're low, they can pick you up. On days where you might not have ideas, they will. They might stimulate one conversation or one word or see a business opportunity that you don't see through one conversation and open up a whole new lens of belief. Now, again, this leads to point 2, which is the quality of the team is the quality of your business. And so it is so important to really get a high quality sort of attention to detail type of person in your business, particularly once you understand what are your core functions and what are the repeat tasks that you don't like to delegate, because you'll build that muscle. And if you're on the fence or you're scared about hiring people, I totally get it. But the key is to 100% focus on what are the core areas you want to grow and enhance. And then once you do that, you're going to naturally get more and more people clear and attracted to your vision, right? Clarity is power. So when you're clear on your stuff that you're great at, Well, now you have the clarity to know, okay, what are the things I'm not great at? And for whether little or high amounts, you can start paying people, high quality people to do it. Quick story in my business, we've had challenges finding editors, we've had challenges finding marketers, assistants, whatever it is, but it always paid to find the right quality person, okay? It is so important to free up your bandwidth mentally, emotionally. And I've seen this with billionaires or multimillionaires. They always have an assistant that handles the invoice, that handles the email, right? They're in the constant business of buying back their time, not so much doing it all themselves. Now, naturally in business, in the beginning in particular, you might be used to doing it yourself, you might be used to controlling projects yourself, and so that's okay. But it is so important to realize that sometimes you need to make hires before you think they're ready. And a quick litmus test before I get into the third point is I like to tell people is that there's no such thing as hiring somebody at the perfect time. You either hired them a little too early or a little too late. And in my opinion, it's better to hire somebody a little too early than a little too late, because a little too early gives you the opportunity to create bandwidth and see opportunities that you might not see otherwise, that can put more money in your pocket and more impact to your customers and consumers. All right. So those are top two. And the last thing, number 3, is that the better you build your systems, the better people you can hire, run, attract, and grow your business with. Okay, so number 3 is the better your systems, the better your business. When you're delegating, when you're growing your team, when you're hiring quality talent, you got to realize that all of this works. In the beginning, it's going to be a little bit rough, but all this works later when you have great systems. You have great SOPs, right? Standard operating procedures, where you have stuff documented or organized. Maybe you're hiring somebody from your social media, and now in documents you can say, hey, step 1 is this, step 2 is make sure the video is like this, step 3 is make sure the caption includes this but doesn't include that, right? You can have all these nuanced details. That's an example for social. But the more you can document, repeat tasks, and create SOPs, well, now you create an environment where you can get quality people and hire quality people and find quality people in a way where they can help you with the business, because things are organized and instructed with detail and systems. And also, if those people leave down the road, which sometimes is inevitable, well, now you don't freak out or panic, because you have systems in place that once you put in new people, those systems can run, right? Think of Walmart. Their systems are so good, and they're built off the back of a lot of, relatively speaking, minimum wage employees or close to that, but they run this multi-billion-dollar business at Walmart, right? It's one of the largest corporations on earth. Why? Because their systems are so good that it allows for the imperfection of humans who may try their best at the business. Obviously, you want to hire quality people, but when you have good systems, you minimize the margin for error, okay? So if you do those 3 things when it comes to delegating, number 1, you realize that it always pays to delegate, even if you're just starting to free up bandwidth, give you creative ideas, maybe reach out to customers and clients, number 1. Number 2, you realize that the quality of that talent is important. So instead of just hiring a friend, if you have to in the beginning, it's fine. But you want to find people who have strengths, gifts, passions, or interests in the areas you're not the best at. And then just start with what you can. Pay them what you can. Pay them for one afternoon or one evening to help you for a few hours. For me and my hires, I like to try them out for a week or 2 and pay them. And then if it works out, then go for longer, right? And so whether it's a VA for $7 and $9 an hour, which we have a link for in the description below, you want to hire, or it's somebody you want to bring on full-time in your team, or an editor, somebody in a revenue share capacity, whatever it is, you want to make sure to build the habit of quality controlling exactly what it is that you need and finding people who care at that level, right? The better the team, the better the business. And the last part, number 3 to recap, was systems. The more you can document and systematize processes, even if you're just starting, the more you're going to develop momentum, confidence, and skill sets for you, A, to know what you're doing, but also B, make sure to build an environment where it's easy for people to succeed, because you're bringing the right people in, and even if they have to go at some point down the road, they're the ones regulating and enhancing the quality of those systems and those documentations for those systems, so that if they have to leave, you can pop in somebody new, and the systems are so dialed that it accounts for the human error, so you never skip a beat. The last thing you want to do is work hard, put the right people in place, and then they leave, and now you're stuck, unable to fulfill on your business, your clients, your customers, because one key person left, all right? So the better your systems are, the better that'll help. So anyways, I hope this little preliminary video on delegation served you. There's a lot of things I outsource in my own life and business, but I highly recommend you do these 3 things. They'll take it to the next level. Again, my name is Omar Elatar. I'm the host and creator of the Passionate Few podcast, where I've interviewed over 100 multi-million, multi-billion-dollar entrepreneurs, and I love this stuff. So just sharing the wisdom with you here in my 100-day YouTube challenge, sharing raw videos from the heart. So hope you enjoyed it. If it brought you value, comment down below. Share this with a friend if you thought it was valuable, and it would mean the world to me if you smash that subscribe button right now. Hit subscribe, and I'll bring you more value here. I promise won't waste your time, and it'll take your life business to the next level. You can also apply in the link down below for my coaching program to work with me one-on-one, or join our free SKOOL community to learn more about some of these exciting concepts. Anyways, hope you enjoy, and here in the studio, just want to share it with you. God bless.